everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Drew and today I'm going to be reading Just Friends by Haley Pham and just doing a little reading vlog and giving my review and thoughts of the book at the end. So obviously, like a lot of other people, I watch Haley Pham. I love her YouTube channel and she wrote a book, so I want to read it. I recently got it like a week ago and I've already started some of it. I'm about 40 pages in. So far, it's good. I kind of know a lot about the story just because there's been so much talk about it on the internet, but I'm trying to go into this as blind as I can so that I can just form my own opinions and thoughts. So let's just start reading. Okay, so I'm about 200 pages into Just Friends. It's almost been a month since I started reading this book, but that's just because I haven't like sat down to read it that much. But when I have, I've read like hundreds of pages like at a time. Well, not hundreds, but like a lot at a time. And the other night I read like maybe 80 pages in like one sitting. So I'm definitely enjoying this book while I read it. I just haven't had much time to pick it up, which is why it's taking so long. But hopefully I can finish this book really soon, probably within this weekend if I, sit down and read. But I just wanted to give a little update. And yeah, in the beginning, I'm gonna do like a review after I finish this and I'll say all my thoughts. But in the beginning, I was a little bored. Now though, as like the story's like progressing, Blair has like met Declan and something else has happened like in her family. I don't want to spoil anything, but something like big has happened in her family. And so the plot is kind of like moving along and I'm enjoying it. So it's definitely getting more interesting. It's definitely a page turner. Like I could just fly through this really quickly. And yeah, I'll just save like the rest of my thoughts in my review for the end of the video. So as I was updating you guys, it just started pouring rain. Okay, I have finished Just Friends by Haley Pham, and my score of this book, my rating was 4 out of 5 stars, which is really good. So I just wanted to spend a little bit of time at the end of this video reviewing and basically saying my thoughts on this book. I know that there were a lot of videos like in March and like the beginning of April. It's now the end of April and I just finished this, so I'm a little bit late on first big wave of reviews and readers of this book, but I still wanted to share my thoughts in case anyone is still interested or hasn't read the book or wants to just hear another person's opinion on this. And I was thinking about not making this video like with any spoilers, but as I finish the book I just really want to talk about the end and I really just want to not like kind of talk around what actually happened. So if you still want to read this book and you haven't and you don't want spoilers, thanks for watching. Go enjoy this book, but I am going to have some spoilers in now because I just don't want to talk about this book without like actually talking about it. So thanks for watching. I did enjoy this book, 4 out of 5 stars. I thought it was really good. I really liked it. Now onto the spoilers. Okay, I started it in like the middle of March and I finished it in the middle of April. So it took me a month, but that's because I was super busy. The first few times I sat down to read this, it was okay. Like I was just reading it at a normal speed and then I was super busy and then I was probably like halfway through the book or a little bit less than halfway when I like just picked it up and then I didn't want to put it down and I finished it within like 2 days and it was like a page turner. So I'm pretty sure that I was just super busy and that's why I didn't finish it as quickly. But also this brings me to my first point of something I didn't like. The beginning was very boring. It's not like it was like a super boring beginning. It was just boring to me. And like I don't really need like action or some crazy thing that happens in the beginning of books to like want to read it, but I do like a good hook, like I think that a hook to grab the reader's attention and make them want to read the book is important. And I feel like the hook just wasn't interesting to me. It might have, grabbed someone else, but to me it was boring. And the beginning, I'm pretty sure it's just like Blair moves back home and her great aunt is sick. And then we get like the first flashback. The flashbacks I was looking forward to. I wish there was more of them though. Like I understand that towards the end there's nothing really more to tell because she's just telling like their relationship, and then like the big fight, you know, and then like when she walked away from him and then they didn't speak for a long time when she went to college. But then like in the middle of the book, when they finally talk about, you know, the elephant in the room, like why they haven't been talking for so long, then I guess there's like no more flashbacks to tell. But I kind of wish there was like a few more sprinkled in, like just like good memories, or just, you know, like funny things that happened while they were dating or when they were friends. Because I feel like the author started to build on their relationship, and like the very first flashback we get, like they're like friends, and I think it's the one in the football field where they're just like, you know, rolling around, like goofing around, and he like calls her a blue-footed booby or whatever they're called. I'm pretty sure that's the bird. Yeah, blue-footed booby, and he calls her like little bird. So I think that's cute. And I think I wanted more of those little moments of them, which I felt like the flashbacks, I mean, obviously they were only there so that we could learn why they were, you know, at this point in their adult lives that they were at. And it kind of was just about the leading up to, like, you know, the big fight. But I wish that it had been more of just good, or even just like not good or bad, just like neutral moments, just to build their relationship more. Going back to like videos I've seen on this book, I watched a few of like reviews, but no like spoilers before I read the book. So I didn't want to get too many people's opinions, you know, because I like to go into a book like really not really knowing what's gonna happen, let alone other people like analyzing it. So I tried to limit myself on that. But I did hear one person's video, I forget who it was, but they were talking about like how Blair, like that Declan was really well, you know, described, like his physical appearance, like you could really see who he looked like. But Blair, she was kind of just like described as like dark hair, but what was it? I don't even know. Like, see, like she wasn't really described. And that person was kind of saying that they wish they had seen Blair more, like physically, like, you know, appearance wise. Which I actually disagree. I don't think it was really necessary. I think because we get like the chapters, the flashbacks on Blair first falling in love with Declan, I think it is, you know, normal for her to be like, oh, like he's really handsome, and describe like how he looks because she likes him. But I don't think that, since we didn't get Declan's point of view, I don't think it was necessary for Blair to have really a distinct look. Obviously on the cover we can kind of see what she looks like, but this is basically like the extent of what she looks like in the book too. Like we know that she has like mid-length dark hair, so I didn't really find a problem with that, just because it didn't really matter to the story. If we had Declan's point of view in like some chapters, then I think maybe it would be normal for him to, you know, describe her because he's falling in love with her as well. But since we don't get that, I don't think it's needed. I think that it's okay if she's just kind of like this shadowy figure that we see this world through, like through her eyes, because it's told in first person. Something my creative writing professor actually said about, you know, in regards to what characters look like. He said it doesn't matter what the character looks like until it does, which basically means that it doesn't matter what, you know, the main character or other characters really like look like specifically, unless it has to do with the plot of the story. So, like, for example, if they're, you know, someone's being racist towards them because of how they look, then obviously that would matter, because then we would like, it would kind of be some context for why the certain person is targeting them and their appearance. But that didn't happen in this book, and so I don't think it's necessary to really know exactly what she looks like. Like, I think the cover and just seeing her on the cover is enough for me, at least. Okay, another point someone else brought up in a video, which I did see a lot, were the use of like big words kind of like randomly placed in the book. I think some of them definitely were a little jarring. It kind of took you out of the flow of things, but I think some of them I didn't even notice because I was so like into the story, so, and they didn't take me out of it, so I think they were fine. I can't give any examples. I should have like put sticky notes in pages I want to talk about, but I didn't. Just in general, I think that some of the words, yeah, I agree that they were kind of awkwardly placed, but it's her debut novel. There's gonna be some flaws. Like, even in, you know, authors who have multiple novels out, some of them have, like, they still have flaws. And so I think as long as she, like, just keeps on writing, keeps on practicing, like, it's gonna get better. And she says she does want to write more books, so I don't really see a problem with it. It's her debut. Like, people are just, some people, not all, but some people are just trying to pick apart the book just because, you know, she might have gotten a book deal faster because she's such a popular person. Like, that could totally have happened. I don't know if it did, but you know, it could have. So I think that people are just hating to hate. Although I do think some of the words were just kind of jarring, but who am I to say that she doesn't use those in her regular, you know, day-to-day life? Like, some people were saying like she doesn't actually speak, you know, this well with like, you know, these big vocabulary words in her videos. Like, okay, it's okay. Like, you don't write how you talk in real life. Like, that's why writing is such a long process, because you have to look up different words, you have to find ways to say, you know, find new ways to say things. And when you're speaking, it's kind of just like, right now I'm not using any big vocabulary. I'm using a lot of filler words, obviously, like and but that's just because I'm just saying my thoughts and just speaking freely. But if I was gonna write, then obviously I would take more time and care to craft a smarter sounding sentence, if you know what I mean. So I think it's just because, like, writing and speaking in a video are very different things, and they're similar, but in the end, it like, you write different than you talk. And so I think, like, okay, that leads me to my next point. I don't think we should, it's hard when you know so much about an author and then you read their book. I feel like we shouldn't know too much about authors if we want to, you know, enjoy their books unbiased and just with an open mind. I'm not saying that, you know, people in the public eye shouldn't write books and, you know, publish them, but, and obviously, like, I'm on YouTube and I want to write a book one day too. I mean, not that I'm as big as Haley Pham, but, you know, like, I think it's okay to know about them, but I think that it kind of is harder when you have such a big audience to then write a book and, you know, want everyone to read it with an open mind, or just read it as if it was just a random book, you know, in the bookstore, instead of something that you know so much about this person, because she's been making videos since she was in high school. So like, we as the audience know a lot about her life. Not all of it, of course, but what she chose to show us is like a lot of information about her life. And so it's going to be hard to read this without just being kind of influenced by the person that we know in the videos. And that's another thing people were saying, that they could picture just Ryan and Haley, her husband, like, as the characters. I feel like for some reason I didn't. I think that it was hard at first to get like Haley's voice out of my head when I was reading for Blair, and just like go into Blair, into the character. Especially because Blair wants to like write novels, so it was kind of like, oh, like Haley also wants to write novels. Like, it was kind of hard. But once I did, and I was able to, like, I just thought of Blair as Blair. Like, maybe she like looks similar to Haley, but I didn't really think of them. They were like sisters, but I didn't think of them as the same person after a while. For Declan and Ryan, I think this definitely looks like Ryan and Haley. And so I think if you wanted me to describe Declan and Blair, like, it would kind of be similar to how Haley and Ryan look, and it would kind of be hard for me to not think of those, you know, those two people, the author and her husband, with like when describing this couple. But maybe I just haven't watched, you know, Ryan's videos enough, because I did not picture him as Declan. Like, he was a totally different person. He was a totally different guy in the book. Even like when I think about like what he looks like this. He doesn't really look like Ryan. He has some of the same features. It's weird. But I definitely don't think that he reminded me of Ryan, just beyond the looks. And I probably just haven't watched enough of Ryan's videos. I have watched a few, but to like really know if he's really mirrored after him, if the character's really like written after him, but it wasn't like super close enough for me to only be able to picture them. Okay, so those are the things I liked and didn't like, and I don't know, those are basically all my thoughts. I really liked this book way better than I thought I would, especially in the beginning when I was kind of bored. I was like, okay, this is gonna be a boring book, but then it got really good, and I did cry. I did tear up because of the grief that Blair was going through. Oh my gosh, the letter. Okay, the end, like I said, there were gonna be spoilers. Okay, so the end, his proposal, I'm serious, that is the best wedding proposal I've ever seen in my life. It was so like meaningful and just like tailored to her and their relationship. Like, it wasn't just like some roses, like, but no, it was like, someone smashed the birdhouse, and then the ring, oh my gosh, and then the, like, what was it, like a paper inside or something? I said, will you marry me? And then he proposed, and it was so good. I'm trying to find the exact page. It's like at the end, in the epilogue. Oh yeah, it's a rock. Inside the birdhouse, there's a rock because of the blue-footed booby, like, gives its mate the rock, and he compares her to that little bird. Like, see, like, that's perfect. Oh yeah, and then it's like a paper, will you marry me? And then he gets on one knee. Oh, like, that was perfect for them. Like, it's gonna be hard to top this wedding proposal, or for any other book proposal I may read. It's gonna be hard because this was the best one. It was creative, it was so them. And I think that's, you know, what matters the most. That was my review. If you haven't read this and you like romance, clean romance, then I definitely recommend you read it. If you don't, then it just might not be for you, and you don't have to read it, obviously. So thanks so much for watching. Let me know down below if you've read this book, what your thoughts are on it, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.